What's the deal? What's the deal? It's your boy Klasic from Klasic Live. I got the homie OG Corn Dog in the building. Before we get started, man, I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like, share this video, subscribe to the channel. If y'all on a different platform, do the same thing. Hit that heart, retweet, whatever you got to do to get us in the algorithm, man. And today we got a crazy episode. It seemed like Tekashi 6ix9ine is trying to make a comeback. And it seemed like he might have a valid point. Now, he's talking about the double standards of snitching in the hip hop community or the hip hop culture. You got people recently like Gucci Man, people been labeling him with the snitch. You got Young Thug, you got Gunna, you got a lot of people that people been feeling some type of way about, to where either they let it slide or they try to penalize the person. Now, Gunna, even before the Young Thug situation, he was on CNN telling about somebody doing some shooting and end up giving a description. And people try to say, we all knew Gunna wasn't no street dude. You got 21 Savage. When Young Thug and Gunna was going back and forth, 21 Savage was saying, hey, y'all should squash it. Man, F the streets. That's when he came up with the F the streets movement, and that was after people found out 21 Savage had this type of visa to where you have to cooperate with the police if you was victimized. And if y'all know, 21 Savage had a situation where his friend lost his life and 21 Savage was injured. So, it seemed like people say F the streets when they can't get anything else from the streets. They'll use the streets all day long until they get into some until they get into some heat, and then it's F the streets. So, we're gonna get into the video later. But Corny, what do you feel about all this snitching, no snitching, street code? You a rat, they're a rat, everybody's a rat. What you got to say about this stuff, bro?
No one can point fingers anymore. There's no more saying he's a rat. He's a, you know what I'm saying? Because, okay, we can all say that initially started from 6ix9ine. You know what I mean? When it come to that, like, that's what he was brought forward into the hip hop community. Like, yo, he a rat, this and that, bam. He got his ass out of jail. Okay, you did your thing, bro. He wasn't affiliated with, or come to find out that, there was more to the story before he got there. You know what I mean? So he just got tied in a way, in a sense, and they did use him to bring down that organization. The snitching part, there's a lot of niggas doing that now. And it's out there. It's put forward for everyone to see. If you live by the code, and that's the code you live by because that's the streets. You feel me? You live by that code, then you gotta die by it. You know what I mean? That's where you come from. Now, some of these guys up here that's doing snitching, I ain't gonna say some of them, most of them, they got more money than me, you, and the average Joe. So they consider themselves probably civilians now in a sense. But they still have to hold down this type of street cred, credential, clout in order to sell music. Man, you got money, bro. You're a fucking civilian. Fuck that. You're a civilian, period. That's how that go. You got too much money to mess off your family, your personal life, your personal lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that going away. You ain't got no time for this. Why would I jeopardize my millions, sacrifice all of this to go sit down to keep it OG and the G code, especially if you got money? Uh, Gucci Mane said, I'm too old for this shit, basically. But you can find a clip of him saying that he would never snitch and he gonna die by it. But what he's doing now is pretty much going against his word. You lost your credits. You lost your credential. Nobody's gonna take you serious after that now. Don't make any more rap songs after this, Gucci Mane. Okay. Um. Uh. My boy 6ix9ine was pretty much making some. He was making some good points, and I'm not gonna lie about that. He was making some good points. I understand it. If it was that part to where he was thinking that he is being racially picked on, no, I wouldn't say racially picked upon. Um, in this game of hip hop, uh, I ain't gonna say all the legends, but it's most of the legends that feel that anyone that's not black is a guest in hip hop. So since he was known as the first signature rap of hip hop, and he wasn't black, that might have something to do with like how they going hard at it. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't think they should lay off the rest of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Just because they happen to be black. Let's break it all down, man. We know what was said and how it was done. It's put out here to us, to the world, to experience for ourselves. Uh, Young Thug, he snitched. Gunner, he snitched. There's others out there. I hear that he was bringing up Ti, but what he was bringing up was like some Crime Stopper stuff. Now I don't count that, but there were some other allegations with Ti having to be snitching.
You
Uh,
don't count that as snitching what Ti did?
the Crime Stopper shit.
Well, the reason why he did the Crime Stopper stuff, he got caught with all them things, and in order to get out of that, he had to do a couple of things to avoid that. Like, I thought snitching was any
Okay, my bad, my
information.
bad, my bad. I didn't know most of that right there, but
Yeah,
if that has something to do with that, yeah, okay, yeah, that's snitching. That shit with Gunner. Speaking on the description you was talking about, but when he was, I ain't gonna say, but when he was talking, it was just happened that he happened to just say too much at that time.
yeah,
He didn't know what the hell he was. I ain't, he said too much, and he probably like after a second after that statement, he was like, "Oh damn, that would be considered snitching." Yeah, he unconsciously snitched right there. You know what I mean? Um, the backlash they're giving, shit. 6ix9ine, he owning up to it, bro. He pretty much owning up to being a rat. I mean, which is not good because uh as known to be a rat throughout life, no matter what, it's still a street code. And somebody's gonna approach you. He been approached before. That thing that happened in the gym, he walking around with biker pants on and they tapped him up in the bathroom or something like that. I don't know. There's more to come to that, man. Unless he's going to keep that type of security around so that don't happen. Um, I've said this, man. When it comes to the street thing now, man, I, I I ain't gonna say it's dead completely, but it's definitely dying. It's too much technology out there for anybody to get away with anything. They are coming up with stuff like the minority report to arrest you before you convict you do the crime. So the streets are dying, and there's no way that I don't think you can come up with another plan because it's too many cameras. It's too many people with phones, personal phones. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a ring camera. Everybody got footage inside their house. All of that. So it's impossible now. You're gonna eventually get caught. If you think you're gonna get away with it, that's cool. That's because you're living off the high of the hustle. You know what I'm saying? So when it finally come up and it's your turn for them to come get you because they've been investigating you, like I just seen Brandon across some of my timeline, something that happened in L.A., some kind of burglary spree or something like that. I don't know. It could have been all that stuff that's been happening up in West L.A. You know what I'm saying? Uh, they finally caught some dudes that was doing some crime sprees over there. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get away with it. You're not. It's not gonna happen. This technology is too tough. The streets are dying. These people that's out here acting like they tough, they out here snitching because they want to keep their money. They're like, I'm not gonna just go ahead and give up all this and not say nothing so he can have it and he can get away with it. I got too much money now. Gucci Man. Gucci Man in particular is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He got too much money to be just letting niggas get away with that. He is known as a high tier celebrity now. I ain't gonna say high tier, but in the rap community, yes. We consider him a high tier celebrity. You know what I'm saying? So to stick by the code of the streets and you're not in the game no more either. That makes a whole point right there too. You're not there in that life anymore. Do your thing. I ain't mad at you. I salute you. Boom. I'm a civilian. And I'm gonna let you know right now. If somebody come to my house, I'm gonna tell the cops what happened to that guy that came in. I don't care what happens. They, hey, you got to come with us. Yeah, okay, I'm coming with you. I'm gonna tell my story. But that guy's not gonna walk out. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna have no story to tell. Um, yeah, that's how I see it, dude. Like, hey, I'm not, and I'm only, like I said, this is my whole point of it. if you're gonna be making music about streets, talk about streets, no snitching, and then you wind up snitching, why don't you make songs about snitching? Instead of making street songs talking about you don't snitch and I'm getting off on this, I'm selling this and I'm doing that. Make songs about snitching. Once you snitch, hold on to that. Come back with some old music talking about how much of a big of a rat you are. You know what I'm saying? Do that.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, bro. Because they already know
Of
like
course not.
the ramification that come with snitching. But like you said a couple minutes ago, as far as people looking at 6ix9ine the way that they do, because of I think race do play a part in it because you know if 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 people were to mention the fact that black people took out Nipsey Hussle, if black people said that, people will kind of understand that. But let a white person say that, they'll instantly be like, "Oh, you just being racist, X, Y, and Z." So I've heard multiple times. Matter of fact, the homegirl Loyalty and Betrayal, she's not black, but she cover a lot of topics. She do a lot of crime solving stuff that's
Right.
revolved around a lot of people that's in Chicago mainly, and a
Okay.
lot of the crime that's in Chicago are done by black people. but people would be offended and say, what do you don't have anything to do with this because you're not black. And I disagree with that. I believe if it's done in the public, then anybody can criticize it. And some people just don't like to hear other people outside of the race or the culture make commentary on what's currently going on. But they could be 100% correct. And with this interview that we about to get into, it shows the hypocrisy of certain people believe that it's cool if this person do it if they got clout, but if the next person do it, then it's a no-no. Like, honestly, like, I think that's like how life is. The same thing that goes on with somebody that people find attractive. You know that whole what's that, flirting versus harassment. If you attractive and you told a female, hey, what's up, bubble butt? Oh, you so crazy. Oh, you so funny, this and that. But if they don't find you attractive, the first thing they'll say, oh, get away from me, you pervert. So people pick and choose, who they like and who they let things slide for. And I think this is the same situation with 6ix9ine, to where it's not necessarily the message, it's the messenger. Tekashi 6ix9ine is a loudmouth individual from New York, and that already can rub people the wrong way. They always say be humble, be modest about what you got going on. But if you always going around parading, talking about you the ish and you the best and all this other stuff, people are going to be looking for reasons to say that you're not that. So I think 6ix9ine put himself in this situation by just being a blabbermouth, bro. And
I get that.
Like snitching, like, I've never done anything that was in the street and then told on somebody. So I'm not no street nigga like that, but I think we've all done things that wasn't the right thing to do at certain times. But that there's codes, that there's ramifications behind everything. And I think another reason why they're really on 6ix9ine ass is for the fact that people perceive that, like, come on, bro, you paying these guys to be around you, and then now that they took advantage of you, now you want to cry wolf, and it don't work that way, And to be fair, I think that's right, because it's like you gang when you got 20 niggas around you, but then when those 20 niggas start extorting you, now it's please help me. Now, what they was doing, was that right? I don't believe so, because gang is supposed to be like family, but you come to find out the streets ain't got no love for nobody. All these rules loyalty that's in place, it really don't matter. So some people end up finding out the hard way, and I think 6ix9ine figured that out a little bit too late. But I believe if a lot of people was in his shoes in the same situation, they would be doing the same thing. If they baby mama was getting fucked, if they was getting money stolen from them, if they was getting implicated in different things that they didn't really agree with or whatever. So, I think each his own. But with this stuff that 6ix9ine was saying from the clips that I saw, I think he did have his point, bro, for sure.
He made a point.
Hell yeah. Hey, let's get into this video, but first let's get into a couple of these comments. We got Icy Baby saying, hey. We got Micah saying, my dog, what's the word with it? We got Brian in the building. He said, the old OG had a farm with the snitch. Snitch there and a hoe there, E-I-E-I-O. If that farm had an immunity. Please with the D-A. E-I-E-I-O.
This nigga Brian is stupid, man.
with the plea deal there and the plea deal here, E-I-E-I-O. Yeah, this nigga Brian is retarded. I mean, Brian is slow, man. He had his sugar today for sure. Yeah. Micah said, damn, this is crazy. And then Brian also said, when you're a nobody, low in the pecking order, you're a snitch. When you get enough clout, it's called strategic maneuvering. Hey, he ain't lying, man. Like, people be picking and choosing. And That's just not right, man. Let's
Right.
let's get into this video by Sofa Thighs over here. We got Poetic Flacco in the building.
Poetic Fatso.
Roadblock Legs. He break down everything that's what's going on. So let's see if he has some valid points to this, man. Let's check it out.
Talking about
Flacco. Destroyed and exposed Big Bank and the hypocrisy of the streets in his recent interview they just did. The reason why it was so bad for Big Bank is because 6ix9ine cornered Big Bank and put him in a situation where he had to defend the indefensible. Big Bank's kind of opened himself up to what was to come when the first question out of his mouth to 6ix9ine was, why do 6ix9ine wake up thinking about other men? Those other men were 21 Savage, Young Thug, and Atlanta rappers who criticized him.
First off, we're gonna get right into it. Why you wake up with on your mind? That's what I want to know.
So I got this. So when I wake up, right? I don't wake up with on my mind. I wake up me responding to right? I'm from New York. I feel like a lot of rappers, they wake up and mention 6ix9ine. They not from New York. When Meek Mill mentioned me, right? When Meek Mill mentioned me, he not from New York. When Lil Durk mentioned me, he not from New York. When King Von mentioned me, he not from New York. When 21 Savage mentioned me, he not from New York. Why do they got an opinion on my life, my case, not being from New York or having anything to do with my case? You know what I mean?
In the same rap shit, though.
Because you are a snitch. At the time, you was a snitch. That's why they mentioned your name.
Hey, but that's a contradiction, though. You can't question how come 6ix9ine is talking about different people because he's not from that state, but then you got other people that's not from the state talking about 6ix9ine. So, you know,
that's true. Like they're not in that realm right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're not in that circle. That circle is supposed to handle that shit.
Yeah,
that's why 6ix9ine live in Florida. But that don't mean that he can't get touched because Florida niggas, that's a connection right there. Florida and New York is a connection.
Yeah, but say if a New Yorker can't talk about Atlanta business, then Atlanta business can't talk about a New Yorker business. So you know, that's how that should go.
So he's saying it like that. Okay, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess I could get that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we doing this guy right here that we watching the video with.
Yeah, they on Flacco because he's from Philly, so they say, you know, get your mouth out of fucking, you know, Cali business. So
right. So I get that. That's a point. He made a point right there. That's a point, bro. He just made a point right there. I agree with that. I gotta agree with that, bro. That's a point.
Yep.
That's the mistake that Big Bang make, defending the indefensible. You are critiquing 6ix9ine for speaking on 21 Savage and other grown men, and then the first thing out of your mouth when 6ix9ine says, "Nah, they spoke on me first," is, "Well, y'all in the same field. They can." That's just like that's not even like logically consistent, right? That's illogical. And you can't critique 6ix9ine for speaking on 21 Savage and Young Thug and others. Well, when 21 Savage was on your show, bringing up 6ix9ine unprovoked.
The fans got the voice.
How do you not get destroyed from the internet? I don't think they can destroy you if you just keep going.
I'm not saying destroy you to the point where you go from 100 to 0, but they can take you from 100 to 40, 50. For sure. Overly. Quick, too. Oh, God. Let the wrong narrative get to going about you. Oh, God.
But I'm saying, what about the fight through them narratives, though? Because you got to fight through them narratives.
Still ain't getting no money like that, like they was. Still ain't getting no money like they was, like the rap boy.
Who?
We been wearing lace fronts and shit.
Who that?
Who told in New York, man? Who told all in New York? The Mexican.
Oh, you say he...
The internet took his down.
I think he just stopped.
Nah, because he can't go. Ain't no gas in the car. What you mean? He just stopped.
No, what I'm saying is, bro, you not getting what I'm saying. What I'm
They
saying
pumping that
was,
nigga up.
like, bro, certain shit happens, and maybe it took a toll of you. Like Kanye, right? Let's say Kanye, for example. They've been trying to tear him down for forever.
When Buddy did what he did, I think he was the first snitch that like went viral. Bro, I ain't even trying to be funny.
Yes, you is, bro.
That's true.
I'm talking about no, nigga. I'm talking about as an artist, bro. I'm talking about as an
That's
artist,
true.
as a lit rapper. He was the first rapper that in the internet era snitched, bro, and it was public as. He got out. He tried to still act like I snitched. So what? I'll kill everybody still. And they like, man, shut up. and he's down.
So from a viewer perspective, because 6ix9ine played this clip before he got into 21 Savage and before he started talking about 21 Savage, he played this clip. And people got to see, while Big Bang is trying to police how 6ix9ine speak about 21 Savage, he's trying to shut down the conversation. I ain't here to speak about nobody else. But he allowed 21 Savage and others to speak on 6ix9ine. Now, when 6ix9ine started to grill Big Bang about 21 Savage, Big Bang looked crazy because 6ix9ine provided the information, put it on the screen. And there was a point where 6ix9ine asked Big Bang to read what's on the screen, and Big Bang deliberately skipped over the part that would make 21 Savage look crazy.
Does 21 Savage have a U visa? How is he in the United States right now? Right? 21 Savage is here off a U visa. You know what's a U visa? This is the definition of a U visa. As of October 2023, 21 Savage, Shia bin Abraham Joseph, is a lawful permanent resident of the United States, successfully resolving his long-standing immigration saga. While he reportedly filed for a U visa, what the f is a U visa? While he reportedly filed for a U visa in 2017 following a 2013 shooting incident. His legal status was ultimately adjusted to permanent resident after years of deportation proceedings.
What 6ix9ine is talking about is actually facts. WAC 100
Why?
actually posted 21 Savage U visa agreement a few years ago after their Clubhouse argument. But 21 Savage was arrested by ICE and detained. Now, Jay-Z and Roc Nation hired 21 Savage, a powerhouse attorney that got 21 Savage a bond. While 21 Savage was out on bond, fighting his immigration and fighting deportation, the powerhouse attorney was able to secure 21 Savage a U visa agreement. What the U visa agreement says, you get to stay, you get status, you get a work permit. In exchange, though, you agree to testify against somebody who victimized you. So because 21
that sounds like pretty much he snitched, and it says that in order for you to get this, you have to snitch. So 2017, I kind of remember when that happened too, with that, with the immigration thing and all that, you know what I'm saying? And whoa. A U visa? Is that the definition? The Google definition of U visa? You apply for that. You apply for it to stay.
That don't look too good, bro. Like,
because in order for you to stay, you have to apply by the regulations of that contract, which is to tell on somebody.
tell on the person that shot you.
I ain't said that. I said tell on somebody. but hey, but okay.
It's common sense, bro. If you got shot and then now you get a visa after that because of that, then it's self-explanatory.
Right. My point is on that is that everybody went like this. They turned their back. I didn't hear nothing, but they heard everything about 6ix9ine. And shit, I can't be biased. I gotta go with that point again. He wins another point. That's 2 points he just made.
And the thing is, the only thing I could say about the U visa that certain people wouldn't know exactly, they'll probably confuse that with the regular visa and not knowing that the way how you obtain it, you know. So I could kind of try to say that about a lot of people, but I do believe a lot of people, they kind of turn their eye to it, or they turn their head, they cover their ears when it came to, you know, what happened. But yeah, the crazy part about it is that's what I'm saying. Like, it's ironic that you do that where you're cooperating with the police, and then a couple months or a couple years later, you're saying, you know, fuck the streets because the streets ain't did nothing but give us trauma, when you're trying to have Young Thug and Gunna get back together, because people already know that you low-key snitched or you possibly snitched. So, you know, I just think that it's a kind of a contradiction to where, especially with Big Bank, like low-key Big Bank is somebody that's respected in Atlanta, and he's basically picking and choosing. Like, the people from Atlanta, that's his partners and shit like that. So he's not going to, he's going to try to avoid whatever incriminating evidence that they have against him. Like, he just don't know what's going on all of a sudden. So
he didn't want to speak on it. He didn't want to, you know, like 6ix9ine put him in a corner, bro. And he didn't know how to respond, or even, I ain't gonna say react, because 6ix9ine was reacting more than him, the way he was jumping up, standing up and screaming and all that shit. But he didn't know how to respond to something like that, especially if he's accusing people that he close to, you know what I'm saying, like that. He's like, man, I can't speak on that. You know, he telling him, hey, read this right here. Read this. Go ahead and read it. That nigga read that shit in his mind. That nigga didn't say none of that shit.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he said, did he say, hey, you ain't gonna read it? Did he say that shit? I don't know. But he said, read this. And the man was like, just sitting there reading it in his mind. Like, I'm not saying this. And he's not gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? He know what the business is. He trying to keep it cool and cordial. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I get the sense that he got that street cred from the back in the days. You know what I'm saying? I don't know his history, but the way they was talking, it was like, ooh, that sounds like some old school shit right there. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get that part. But see, right now, this shit is a young man's game. And all these youngsters out here playing the game wrong. Y'all get whacked for shit like that, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, just being real about it. You know what I'm saying? All you youngsters out there that's in the game, don't follow Young Thug's theory about doing this. 6ix9ine, 21 Savage, Gunna, who else? Gucci Mane. Anybody that's doing stuff like that, don't do that. If you did, you ain't gonna be in the game long at all. That's a quick way to get just disappeared. Don't do that. I hate to give you that advice. It's either get your ass out or don't do that.
Hey, this Brian said, keep my city's rapper name out your mofo mouth. Will Smith. Hey, bro, I think you got an echo on your mic too, bro.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. Brian's a fool, bro, for sure.
No, man, not Will Smith, man. Come on, man.
Brian said most people are thinking a U visa is the new name for EBT. God.
Oh,
damn.
wow.
And Splashy said big corn dog.
What up, Splash?
King Von X, Classic Von, yes. What the fuck do that mean, Splashy? Like, come on, man. I know corn dog favorite number is 6ix9ine. Wink, wink.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is he talking about, bro? Like, yeah.
You say what? 6ix9ine? Oh, no.
This dude's stupid, man. Let's get back to the video.
Savage was a victim of a shooting that left his homie dead and him almost dead, he qualified for that. But in exchange, though, he has to agree. Now, that don't mean he's cooperating actively, but he has to agree that if the person, who shot him is caught, he has to agree to testify and cooperate against that person. He would also have to provide certain statements about him being shot, such as where he got shot, how he got shot, what the person was wearing, et cetera, et cetera. Now, he could have easily lied to them, but still in all, you still sign your name on a dotted line that you agreed to snitch when it's time to snitch. So 6ix9ine is pointing that out like, hold on, 21 Savage got a U visa agreement. I haven't heard Big Bank and others call him out on this. Why? And because Big Bank and 21 Savage is cool, Big Bank really suffered, like combating 6ix9ine and rebuttaling this, and it made him look crazy because all we saw was him making excuses and picking and choosing and politicking what's snitching and what's not snitching.
Imagine being able to build anything.
Yo, shout out to Mr. Hip Hop Head. He said, so don't take advice from Southern rappers. Damn. I'm not gonna lie. It's more than Southern rappers. Like, you got people on the West Coast. I wouldn't say that they're rappers, but they've been accused of snitching. Some public figures, some gangbangers. So snitching. 6ix9ine's a snitch. He's from New York or whatever it is. So it isn't just a Southern rapper thing. It's a
rat thing.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a lack of street code ethics.
It's a rat thing. It's a
rat gang.
Yeah.
Let's see what a U visa is.
Bro, you
No. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Let's
is
just
it?
see what a U visa is.
Well, let's see.
What is a U visa?
Tell me.
A U visa is a U.S. immigration benefit for non-citizen victims. Key word, victims.
see, man. What,
Hold on,
bro.
but let me finish. Hold on, babe.
Calm down,
No,
bro.
hold on. I know. Hold on. Immigration for a non-citizen victim of a certain crimes who have suffered substantial mental or physical abuse and are helpful to law enforcement in investigation or prosecution of that criminal activity. This is a fact, though.
But what they got to do with anything, though? I'm saying, what are you saying? What's the point, though? What's the point you should make it? You saying he was a victim?
I mean, he's
a lot of people be victims, though. If you get shot, that's a victim.
Okay.
When they get shot, being in the street,
You
that's
said
a victim.
it.
What are you talking about?
All right, cool. You can only get a U visa, right? This is the definition. Let's slow it down, Bing. I know it's cut up. Sometimes the truth is just too much.
Bro, what I'm saying, they said a
Just
U
read it
visa
slow.
benefits from non-citizen victims who have suffered from certain crimes.
Okay,
basically,
now,
right?
but don't finish there. This is the key word right here. Read that slowly for me. Now read it out loud. Let people and
physical abuse or
physical abuse, mental or physical abuse, and are helpful to law enforcement in the investigation of what you gonna ignore that? That's what you got right now.
Big Bank heard 6ix9ine explain what a U visa is, explain how 21 Savage got the U visa, explain the stipulations of the U visa, read exactly what a U visa, read the paragraph. Big Bank then reads the same paragraph and stops short of when they said you got to cooperate against the person who victimized you, man.
Whoa.
Again, if Big Bank would have said, hey, listen, man, which he eventually did so, I do give him credit. If would have said, hey, listen, man, I'm not here to defend anybody who snitch or not, bro, right? Listen, if you got proof they snitch, tell them to come and defend themselves, man, all right? Because if they snitch, they snitch. All right, I don't give a damn, right? They, don't steal my partners. That would have been better. But because 6ix9ine cornered him, he just couldn't just lay down or lay over and have 6ix9ine just call them rat for the entire 2-hour interview. Because in that situation, now after this interview, now 21 Savage is mad at him for allowing 6ix9ine to just call him a rat and not vouch for him in front of 6ix9ine. But not
that man called his boy a rat in front of him, and he did nothing He did not try to defend him. He couldn't defend him. He was cornered. What could he say when you got Google telling you this? You got Google telling you this. What could that man say? I'm not in this. Yeah, okay, I get that, but that's your boy. You got to say something. You have to say something. Something. Interrupt this man.
Lie. In this situation, it's better to not say anything because you can't. The evidence is right there in front of your face. So if you say anything going against the evidence, you already been checkmated. So
why? I mean, Eli, of course he was irritated by what he had to see and what he had to hear. You know what I mean? So why not if you're not going to defend him, join the program and say you're right.
I'm not gonna lie, I think that was too much for him to process at that time. I'm pretty sure that nigga Big Bank was thinking in his head, like, damn, why did I have this nigga on this show? Like, because he's getting checkmated right off the rip. Like, it's crazy. And it's funny, like you heard him say a little bit earlier, like, hey man, shit, they wrong. But then once he got proven with some shit to say that they was wrong, he didn't want to admit to it. So I really think he's kind of regretting doing that interview because sometimes not even saying anything is saying a lot, so kind of fucked up on that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like that was a collab deal going on or something. Like they both were streaming at the same time with it. I don't know, or it was just more his. Was it more his on his platform?
To be honest with you, the interview came out on Big Bank platform.
Okay.
Now, I've seen something to where they said 6ix9ine said he paid for the interview. I don't know how true that is, but who knows?
Okay, this is my point that I was saying right there. Like, why are they set up like it's at a 6ix9ine thing going on? That's not his platform. I mean, that's not where he usually, lays his lives down at. I'm talking about Big Banks.
Yeah.
So he's at his establishment.
I was about to say Big Bank. His studio spot seemed like it's pretty spacious and stuff. So that could have been on the set, or they could I heard 6ix9ine said he's about to get into streaming and everything. So, maybe that could have been on, his location to where you got the car there.
That's what I'm thinking, bro. And if you watch the interview, the first hour, it was 6ix9ine ambushing him for an hour, and Big Banks over there crumbling up weed for an hour, getting very uncomfortable. Every time he got uncomfortable, watch the video again the first hour. Every time he got uncomfortable, he started crumbling up weed, and he never rolled up nothing.
Damn. That's funny.
Body language.
Yeah. So let's get back to it. We got like another 20 minutes to go.
Vouching for 21 Savage when you think he did wrong would have been much better than Big Bang just playing dumb. I think at some point 6ix9ine read exactly what was on paper very slowly, and Big Bang responded back, what you mean? Just play dumb.
You know that?
What that mean though?
Bank, 21 Savage got a U visa. That means he was a victim in a crime. This is Bank. This is like this is what I'm trying to say. So when you come at me calling me the Mexican, the lace front, now shut it down. Yo, homie, every action has a reaction, right? So now you're gonna make me dick.
Really don't mean shit, though.
That don't mean nothing.
That don't mean shit.
So that's
the only. You saying that's the only way a nigga can get a visa?
Yeah. Look, let's go down here, right? Cause let's look down here.
Like you can't talk about these.
Bank,
bro, I don't want to. I'm trying to ask you questions.
Nah, but I know, Bank. But listen to me. I know it's hard to believe. I know it's like tough. I know it's like damn. Like I don't want now looking into this shit. 21 Savage here on a U visa. That means he was a victim of a crime. and it's helping. Look, I'm not making this up.
I'm saying you done said this shit
To law
before plenty of
enforcement.
times. So what?
So now he mentioned me first on your podcast.
Yeah.
He said, "Yo,
I ain't never heard Big Bang stutter a day in my life, bro. Big Bang is articulate. Big Bang is a very smart and intelligent brother. When 6ix9ine gets to cooking to himself, and Big Bang gets to whoa. Hold on, bro. Hold on, man. This ain't Wawa, man. Right? They don't got Wawas in Miami, homie. They only got Wawas on the East Coast. Okay? So whoa. Now, hold on, bro. Just admit it, hey, man. Yo, and at some point, Big Bang said the craziest stuff, bro. Oh my, yo, this was so freaking insane. Big Bang tries to make an excuse for the Atlanta rats. So his excuse was, well, you told and got all of your co-defendants 100 years collectively. These other Atlanta rats, they didn't do that. Like, they told, but they didn't tell like that. They got some wiggle rooms to their telling, right? Some of them, right, only gave information to the police. We can't even identify who got arrested and went to jail for the information they provided, but they provided information, though, they told, right? They tried to get folks locked up, but nobody got locked up, so, there's some wiggle room here. But 6ix9ine walked him back in the corner. Are you saying there's degrees to snitching? Are you saying telling on one person is fine, but telling on 5 is not fine? Are you saying, like, telling on 5 is worse than telling on 1? 6ix9ine walked him into a corner that, like 6ix9ine knew. 6ix9ine is intelligent, and he knew that Big Bang can't just outright say, yeah, telling on one person, right, is objectively better than telling on 5. He knew he couldn't say that because the rules of the streets, that's illogical, says that's not the case. And if Big Bang would have said that on camera, folks would have woke up today looking at him a little crazy.
Wait, if you were detained at any...
Yeah, man. 6ix9ine low key was playing chess with Big Bang.
Because it's like, bro, you can't compare yourself. I'm gonna keep it a brick. You can't compare yourself to, bro. You got over 100 and some years, man. That's different than all this shit you talking about. That can be nothing word than that's locked up.
but I'm
Hold up. I'm gonna keep it a break with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, so that's an argument.
Who got over 100 years though?
I'm saying all them collective, that's 100 and some years.
Bro, you just making that up.
You want to pull it up?
Pull it up.
Google it. How much time did, what's the name of the people, get collectively? It's over 100 years, bro. That's
No. But you saying like me. Oh, matter of fact, let's see. I love this, y'all. I love this.
No, I'm just saying that's a difference, though.
I love this though. Remember what he's saying and clip it back. I want y'all to rewind this when I pull it up. Watch this.
But is that different though? You trying to compare yourself to niggas who got basically wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? This
no
different.
room.
This different
So
out here.
Bang, if you walking down the street, right? If you walking down the street,
no, you gotta.
If you walking down the street,
let me type
and a big brolic dude smack your girl ass, and one scrawny dude smack your girl ass, what you gonna do? You can't treat somebody different. I can't treat the scrawny different. Not everybody get the same treatment. A rat is a rat, right or wrong? There's no levels to this rat and shit. Is it?
The Gunna discussion was even worse because 6ix9ine pulled up a tweet from 21 Savage where 21 Savage is saying that Gunna told before, and they all knew Gunna told before, but yet, they slid it under the rug for Young Thug. So 6ix9ine's pulling this tweet like, hold on, bro. So all you guys knew Gunna told before, like y'all knew about the Crime Stopper video, but yet y'all hit that under the rug, right, as a favor for Young Thug? Big Bang then tried to say, like that Gunna never told, Gunna didn't tell. Then 6ix9ine pulled up the Crime Stopper video where Gunna is identifying, hey, bruh, that man right there, he's the one who really did it, but they got my cousin in jail for it because my cousin had on the same clothes as him, but he the one that really did it. Big Bang read it, seen it, heard it, and had an excuse for Gunna. And this is where I believe that everybody said, all right, bruh, we might not like 6ix9ine, man, but at some point, if you're the only person who's prepared to speak the truth, like if you're the only person in an interaction who is speaking the truth and being honest, then even though we might like Big Bang more, we might respect Big Bang more, we kind of have to like give this to 6ix9ine. Like, all right, bro, like you got it, man. You got Big Bang. Because Big Bang was put in a position is a lose-lose, man. Yo, you keep it real, you lose your relationships, right? And you don't keep it real, well, you look like this, right? You look unprepared, you look overwhelmed, and you know, you look like a hypocrite, right? Again, that's with all due respect, because I rock with Big Bang.
Accountability is what I did. My thing is like, yeah, I told, but these niggas was sleeping with my baby mom, stealing millions, kidnapping me. They did all of this. That's accountability. I said it on the first live when I came home. I wore it. This is what you call no accountability. We knew Gunna wasn't no gangster when he told the first time and we swept it under the rug. You call that accountability?
But Gunna ain't tell no first time.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
Nah, let's watch this shit.
You talking about what?
You tell me how this not telling.
Hey, stop the video for a sec. That point he just made right there, when he said they kidnapped me, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about the hearsay of that, but there was some hearsay that the feds had gotten in touch with him earlier before that and told him this is what they're gonna do, and then they did it, and then he believed them, and then that's what made him really snitch. You know what I'm saying? Because the feds, this is just hearsay. That's all I heard. Just, you know, some YouTube street talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By him saying that makes me think, what would I have done in that situation? And I think a lot of people should probably put yourself, and people say they can't walk in other people's shoes, shit like that, that term right there. But just put yourself in this perspective of what situation you was in at that time by knowing that the feds already told him that this was going to happen. And then it happened. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I'm like, that's just the hearsay, the hear talk, the you know, YouTube street talk. But
you know, people will be biased though, right?
Right. I know. And my point is, shit. Like, if you was in that position, or if you was looking from that perspective, and you got to really think about it, because if he wasn't in the game long, not in the rap game or the street game, you know what I'm saying? He just got put on. You know what I mean? So he didn't have enough credentials to be saying any goddamn thing. You know what I mean? You're not even a rookie. You know what I'm saying? That's how they look at it. But for him to shit, fuck. Just lost my point right there. But goddamn, I fucked up. I lost my point. But look, fuck it. I'm gonna go with it. My nigga, if you was in this position, in this perspective, the feds told you that this is gonna happen. It happens. And then you're like, oh shit. And then you get arrested. Then they tell you we're gonna arrest you. You know what I'm saying? But this shit is deep. You know, he was just the candlelight to bringing them down, because they was already investigating them for years. I don't know if you know that or not. So he was the candlelight to bring them down. You know what I mean? He wasn't even in the game long enough. That's why the cops know that this is the weak link. You know what I mean? He got money. He want to keep his money. He want to keep his fame and celebrity. He young. He's not even long enough to be in the game to be loudmouth talking like he was just on that pod, right there on that pod, or how he handled any situation like that. You know what I mean? Your ego talking. You know what I mean? You would not talk like that by yourself. That's real shit. My point is, like, if you was in that position or anybody else, if you know what the consequences of both sides of the outcome, one side is like, I'm definitely gonna be unalive just by not snitching. I don't know if anybody look at it like that, but if he wouldn't have snitched and he was in there, they was gonna take that dude out because he was the candlelight. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they had a reason to go after him after the 6-7 year or 6 year investigation they already been doing on him. You know what I mean? That story gets deep. By him, he's like, oh fuck, I just got here. And damn, I'm not gonna take this. I'm not gonna do this because hell, I just got here and he's like, I want my money. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about what the hell they talking about. It happened 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They offered him 47 years. Oh, it's crazy. God damn.
Yeah, the crazy part about it, I really believe that I guess the Treyway Bloods, whatever you call it, they was doing their stuff already before, but linking with 6ix9ine definitely amplified it to where he was providing a lot of funding for their criminal activities.
It
So
came to the forefront.
yeah, and to be honest with you, he is partially responsible for some of that bullshit that was going on, because if you know they going on
The
tour
latter
with him,
years. The latter
huh?
years.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that he started everything, but that's like how like when Shaq got with the Main Street Mafia, I guess I think it's Main Street or Broadway. You don't
No,
think
man.
Shaq? Yeah, you don't think Shaq funded some of that unknowingly, but with him giving them like, hey, here's 20 bands for this music stuff, whatever. They're gonna use that to buy weapons, dope, whatever that they need to continue their criminal organization. So that's what I'm saying. 6ix9ine, once he joined with them, he kind of legitimized them with getting some clean money. Now, what they would do with that, apparently they was doing, they was running up on people, letting that thing go. So the thing is that 6ix9ine was low-key part of it. And the crazy part about it, like, I do believe that what they were saying as far as getting him out of here, the question is, why would they get him out of here? And he was kind of like their cash cow.
Because if he's locked up, there's no more cash.
Yeah. So, so that's when it was happening. Like once things wasn't looking so good.
No, like the investigation on them is like when 6ix9ine got with them, they was already being investigated. So it's like, oh, look at this loudmouth. And the FBI, they love loudmouths. Like, yeah, look at this guy. Look how he's talking. He's saying this, he's saying that. Oh, he's connected. Oh, wow, I love this. Hey, look, we already have a file on him. Hey, get over there, whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you guys get to work. You know what I'm saying? Then they played catch. They played catch up. They played catch up. They was like, oh well, hell, he's supplying the money, like you just said. And he's only been there for how long? How long was he there, dude? He was not there connected to them at all. I remember before 6ix9ine, there was no connection to any type of gang, any Bloods, anything like that. I knew of him as some crazy troll rainbow hair kid hanging out, and then I caught wind of that and underage shit.
Yeah.
And when I caught wind of that, I'm like, yo, let me pay attention to this guy. Then he just got louder and louder, and then he became loud. You know what I mean? And I think that's really, honestly, dude, I think a lot of people don't like it because of that. You know what I'm saying? That boastfulness. You know what I'm saying? You take your persona, your rap persona into real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you like that. And because I say, man, if you like that, dude, you got to be like that by yourself with nobody around. You know what I mean? That's real shit. And
Yep.
talk the same way and talk the same talk how you talk when you be woofing it by yourself.
Well, you see what happened when he's by himself in the gym and stuff. So, you know.
Exactly. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that part.
Shut the fuck up. Everybody knows he's a fucking troll. You know what I'm saying? Everybody,
Yeah.
I kind of hear more people saying, "Oh, I like him. He's funny," you know, all this shit. Nah, man, I don't like that loudmouth ass shit, dude.
Yeah.
We're both wearing red. That Jackson little shot.
It was just a coincidence on how it was put out. Like, they actually had on the same exact color. Yeah. He just had on the hood and he had on regular shirts.
Let police do their job.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Bro, you can stop hitting that bullshit, bro. That shit, you just won't let it down, bro. You just showed the video.
Hold up. You said Gunner didn't tell the first.
That's telling. You say that's telling?
All right.
I'm asking you. You saying is that telling?
Can I explain myself?
That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. And let me
want to see how?
Yeah, go ahead.
You police? Why you painting a picture for it? It's the streets.
What'd he say? He said somebody's name? I'm asking a question. I ain't defending the name. I'm asking you a question.
Yo, hold on. Just listen. Look, hear the names.
No, he said my cousin. That's his cousin name.
Hold on.
Red. The pictures claims Ben and Carter were both wearing red.
Oh.
Ben and Carter were both wearing red.
No, they ain't what he said.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let me see. That what he said?
The pictures claims Ben and Carter were both wearing red.
Let me hear it again.
You ain't heard it again?
Said, what? The police said it. God ain't say that.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He did.
This in real time.
I'm just asking a question, my nigga. I'm not here to defend no nigga, bro.
That'd be
Whoever
crazy.
wrong, they wrong.
Coincidence on how it was put out. Like, they actually had on the same exact color. He just had on the hood and people had on regular shirts.
Kids believe in state identity played a big role in this case. And he read that pictures claims Ben and
So
Carter.
he over here doing police work, saying, yo, y'all got the wrong person.
Then we find out that 6ix9ine actually paid Big Bang to be there. So Big Bang should have already known. If 6ix9ine is that excited, if he is that eager to have you come in, it's gonna be something.
Oh,
Not Big
yo,
Bang's
hold up,
best
bro.
performance. He's still a great interviewer, but I feel like in this interview, you try to defend the indefensible, and it just came off bad. Now, others have reacted to this interview since it's dropped, and they, share the same sentiment. Charleston White reacted to this interview, and here's what he had to say.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store.
Hey, Fish and Mike, Corny. Corn dog looking extra bad today. Man, what you talking about, Splashy, man?
What?
Yeah, I don't.
Fuck yourself, Splashy.
I was about to say, I don't know, like, what direction this dude be going in, man. Like, and check yourself, brother.
They've been paying.
Yeah.
6ix9ine is 6ix9ine has a production team. He has a production mind. He's very skilled. He's very tactical in interviews and editing and putting out the good. His team gonna make you sense. Good. He know how to control his narrative. He been trying to sit down with the rap world. He been trying to sit down in the rap world. They been shunning him. They wouldn't let him in. Mexican boy. But you gotta think, homie, the Mexican boy came and played to the fullest. and played the fullest. Put on so check game, right? He grew up with so he done took on us. Come being real with us. So when he give up he take his lick. He take his lick. He don't run from the shame or telling. He don't run from it. He come out and say, man, I did this. He take his lick like a man. He don't come back and still try to build the street. He come take his lick and say, I done fell from grace. Nobody in the hip-hop world embraces it. They were trying to spit on it because had nobody been caught snitching yet. The Woody tapes ain't came out yet. None of that. But if we real, when have the Mexican ever been wrong for telling on the? Because when the Mexican go to the feds, the Mexican cartel, the Mexican plug, all of them tell on one another. So let me bring you back to America. The Mexican plug, the Mexican that I always tell on give up the mayates. So when they go to the feds and they get with they Mexican people and they show their paperwork and they gave up a mayate, they don't get a snitch label. SA don't get a snitch label for giving up a mayate. He didn't give up a vato, Holmes. He didn't give up a vato, Holmes. He gave up the mayates. The mayates was stupid for letting the vato in with the mayates because the vatos don't let the mayates in with them. So So the Mexicans been giving up the mayates. So he didn't break no codes in his world. All he ever wanted was to come sit down and let's talk about facts. That's why he keeps saying I walk down facts, because y'all wouldn't never let him bring the facts to y'all media platforms. Or if y'all did, y'all tried to shame him, y'all tried to ridicule, y'all moved the goalpost for other people. So I remember telling Banks a year ago, say, Banks, you either street or you go do journalism. You can't be a journalist media. These street rules and principles. He said, man, I'm not in the street, but I'm saying, Banks, you still got the residue because some of the codes you still honor.
6ix9ine cooked them. But I do disagree with people saying that Banks can't. Banks can still have his code and his honor and still be big in media. Like, he could still say, I'm from the streets. I'm not going to snitch, right? Those are my codes. I'm not about to impose my codes on other people. Like, he can, he can say that. He don't got to compromise like his morals and principles for this media stuff. He could have a strict line between I'm not gonna snitch, I won't snitch. That's just me though, while still not imposing his standards on other people. I don't see like Big Bank imposing his standards on other people. But Gucci Mane told Big Bank said, man, Gucci Mane is still my brother, man. Right? Like straight up. Now, Wack 100 also tapped in and also spoke. And Wack 100 called out, like the culture. Wack 100 sat down with 6ix9ine. It was right after 6ix9ine told and got released from prison. And street dudes gave Wack 100 a hard time for sitting down with 6ix9ine. They looked at it as Wack 100 got a lot to say about that. That young man. Well, Wack is saying, hold on, why y'all not giving Big Bank the exact same backlash and pressure y'all gave me for sitting down with 6ix9ine, which is also a very fair point.
Listen, let's walk this shit down. 5 years ago, when I get the call from Act, 6ix9ine want to interview with you. You up for it? For sure.
Oh my God.
What the streets gonna think about you? Nigga, the streets. When I did it, y'all heard 21 Savage come on there and say, yo, Wack, that was lame. You interviewed 6ix9ine, everybody talking. When this Valley ninja kicked the door in, when this wolf chose his own path. And to this day, me and little bro, me and Daniel, 6ix9ine, whatever you want to call him, we straight, we tight, we solid. Now I look up, Big Banks go on there. I want to hear all y'all call him a lame, because there's no reason to talk to 6ix9ine. He ain't did nothing new but continue to grow and flourish in his career. It ain't been no new this or new this.
This shit
People
crazy.
still in jail. Male murder out, ain't said nothing, did nothing.
This shit crazy.
Do nothing. over there trying to figure out where he gonna get his next meal. Listen, man,
right
out there to the kids. What the streets is telling you to do, what you can do, what you can say, what you can't say. You do what you do. In the meantime, go to the App Store, hit nothing but content, go subscribe, and see what's really going on.
Don't do that.
6ix9ine. Good luck. And for the rest of y'all, the streets is a myth. Troy Ave verse.
I said this in one of my other videos. Yo, we owe Troy Ave a profound apology, man. Troy Ave told us the street was a myth
no love.
almost a decade ago. No, more than a decade ago. And we laughed at Troy Ave. We called him bitter. We called him all type of names. More than a decade later, Troy Ave was 100%, man. All right. Dudes went from caring about snitching, not working with no rats, to when they homie right, they're like, man, listen, man, but he the homie though. I don't care. That's my brother, man. I'm supporting my brother still, man. We watched somebody in an interrogation footage for 3 hours do a whole lot of telling and writing. Man, that don't matter, bro. Man, listen, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, we heard him give information to the police, but like the police didn't use the information, so it's not telling though. The streets are myth, bro. The goalposts will get moved if they like you, straight up. Y'all let me know in the comment section what's your thoughts on this Big Bank and 6ix9ine interview. Okay, let me know, right?
Yeah, shout out to Flacco for the video, man. Hey, this shit is crazy.
Yeah, this shit.
Laugh my ass off. He said, "Don't do that." Hey, the crazy thing about it is, I find it funny that every time that there's some type of movement going against the streets, you get a lot of backlash from it. Like recently, somebody, I forgot who it was. I think it was like an East Coast person that was doing a drop my flag challenge. I don't think that was Styles P. Maybe
I did hear something like that. I did hear something.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if it was Styles P. No, I don't. No, it was somebody else, bro. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
It was somebody else. I can't remember. Yeah, I gotta look into that.
I think his name was like Hocus 45. It's one of them people that's like on the East Coast. I guess he kind of jumped in the podcasting side of the things, but
yeah, I remember that. When that
came around, people was all on that. When Troy Ave said the streets is a myth and all that stuff, they got on his ass about that. 6ix9ine, snitching and shit like that, they got on that. So it seemed like no matter what, there's always been an energy or a force going against what's the right thing to do per se. Like some people get born into that lifestyle, and then some people choose that lifestyle. And even if you was born into it, maybe you'll come to a realization later on that might not be the best thing. But I just find it real crazy that Crips used to stand for community, revolution, rebuilding in progress. So it went from that to you ain't a real 60s unless you kill a 60s. Like, that's wild. So
the government had a lot to do with that shit right there. You know what I'm saying? The programming of the black generation during that time in the 70s, when they came into the welfare. It's like the black man had to be out of the house home in order for you to receive funds and all that. You know what I mean? So that had a big part to do with that. Yeah.
But I was about to say, you think that had something to do with gang banging?
Yeah. Because a man was taken out of the life. You know what I'm saying? It was just the woman that was, and it was just not just a woman. It was a lot of women out there that was single raising their sons. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? To a point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
he didn't turn out being a gangbanger though.
That's because I got caught young. I was right there at that point, bro. Trust me, I was right there. And then my mom got into a relationship, and then we went to a better neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I kind of brought those ghetto games out there, and trust me, the cops wasn't having it. And I got into a lot of fights at school and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a whole different environment, man. Like, this is outer space to me for a minute and shit.
Like, I agree with you on that to a certain extent, because I do believe like they made effort. They made multiple efforts to keep certain communities down, but in 2026.
In 2026, it's hell. We programmed. We got programmed from that time. You know what I mean? And it got programmed to the next generation. You know what I mean? So that's how I got down like that. Like I was right, like I said, I was right there, man. I was right there at that age. You know what I'm saying? Where it was about to either I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, or if I stay here, I'm about to be one of them. My 6th grade teacher told me that. She said, you know, you're really smart, but you're a hoodlum.
Man.
My 6th grade teacher called me a hoodlum. So
hey, Splashy said, did Corn Dog ever check out Big Keys Network? I looked that up, and Corny don't look like Big Keys, man. I don't know if he's from Detroit or something, but yeah, man, Corny don't look like him. I think Splashy was saying that because he's trying to say all black people look alike or something, man.
Oh no. I'm glad you tell me I didn't look that shit up.
Yeah,
but now I might do it now. I might do it now, Splashy. See what perspective you coming from, mommy.
Man,
now let's see what's happening. Big Keys Network. Let me do that shit right now.
Google Big Keys Network. You got images. Okay, I guess we can go with this image. Share this tab. Now, Corny, he said that that's your twin. Man, Corn do not look like Big Keys.
Oh, hell nah. Hell nah.
This dude tripping. He said all black people look alike, man.
Nah, man, that ain't me, bro. This OG right here.
Wait, hey, Big Keys Network, that's well, this must be two different people because this is like that nigga from Detroit, right? Yeah. Over there tripping, man. I think he's a Detroit rapper, but then this other guy, he look like he's like a YouTuber and shit. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Nah, bro. This OG Corn Dog right here, baby.
Yeah,
Los Angeles, 323-213.
And 424?
424, nigga. I'm down with all that shit, nigga. 818, nigga. 909, nigga. I got homies all around this motherfucker. I got codes.
Hell yeah. Hey man, we went over the time. We are almost at the an hour, 20-minute mark. Appreciate Splashy for pulling up. Appreciate Brian for pulling up. Appreciate Micah for pulling up, man. What was that guy? Hip hop head. Appreciate you pulling up and shit, man.
And that nigga Splashy, wherever you are, nigga, keep that shit up. I love it.
Hell yeah, man. We had another dope episode, and appreciate everybody for showing their support and stuff. We're gonna be back at it. Today's Tuesday, so we're gonna be back Thursday, and then we're gonna hit y'all again with Saturday, man. So we got some stuff in the works, man. So y'all stay tuned, and we holla. On that note, we out, man. Peace.
Yo, you now rocking with classic music. Now, what I want you to do is hit that like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Yeah, let's get it.